Do the dishes ever pile up at your house? You know, like you walk into the kitchen and you're looking for a bowl in the morning to eat your cereal from, or a mug, a clean mug for your coffee, and there's no clean mugs, there's no clean bowls. And so you have to dig through the sink and try and find a clean mug or a clean bowl just so you can have breakfast. Let me tell you, I have been there, and I have been a slacker when it comes to homemaking. And today I want to share with you what I did, the steps that I took to really stop slacking and being lazy as a homemaker. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm just going to call it what it is. I was being lazy. And in some ways, I just didn't have the example that I needed, and I didn't know like the process and just the techniques of homemaking. I was never really taught that. And so I really had to learn that on my own. So today I want to share with you, maybe you are kind of feeling the same way, or you've had days when you just are kind of a slacker when it comes to homemaking. The laundry piles up, the dishes pile up, you have no motivation to make dinner. This video is for you, so let's go ahead and jump right in. If we've never met, my name is Emily. I have been married for 16 years, almost 17. I've been a stay-at-home mom for over 10 years, and now I am a homeschool mom. I work from home, but my main role in life is to be a homemaker. And I love being a homemaker, although that hasn't always been true about me. And so I like to share encouragement and the things that I'm learning and have learned with others, because I know that as a homemaker, you need motivation, you need encouragement, you need to hear from someone else who's going through the same things. Okay, but before we go any further, I feel like I need to just show you my shirt. My friend gave this to me, and it says she is clothed in leggings and oversized t-shirts and teaches without fear of state standards, homeschool 24/7. So that's what this shirt says. If you're a homeschool mom, I'm sure you love this shirt too. But anyways, I feel like I should just read it in case you're trying to figure out what it said. But let's talk today. So when I first got married, I was a full-time teacher. So what I would do is throughout the week, I would let the dishes pile up so high. Like the sink was full, the countertop was full, and the same was true about laundry. My husband would do some laundry because he needed clean clothes and I didn't do the laundry, but he would often not do some of my like nicer clothes that I would wear for work because he didn't want to like ruin them. There were times when I would wear a dirty pair of pants to work because I hadn't done the laundry, and that's so embarrassing to admit, but it's true. I would let everything pile up until the weekend, and then I would try and get it done, and it was a miserable time in my life. Let's just put it that way when it comes to homemaking. So when I became a stay-at-home mom, and that was my main role, was to be a homemaker, I was totally lost and confused, and I was overwhelmed with it all. But at the same time, like, I didn't really know how to tackle everything. And so I would sit on the couch and I would watch episode after episode of Gilmore Girls. I know we talked about that in the last Friday chit chat, where I talked about what I had to change with my negative thinking into positive thinking. But I would totally just slack when it came to homemaking. And then like an hour or two before my husband was supposed to get home, I would be like, I probably should get some laundry started. I probably should figure out what we're gonna have for dinner. And then I would get myself in gear and go. But it was this just terrible cycle that was happening over and over and over again. So today I wanna share with you 5 specific things, really practical things that you can do, that I did, to stop being a slacker as a homemaker. Okay, so number 1 is to show up like it's your job. So when I worked somewhere, I had to be there at a certain time. I had a role that I had to play. I had a job description. I had things that I had to accomplish. And as a homemaker, you have no one over you as a boss telling you, this is what you need to do, and you need to do it at this time and so forth, which is really nice because you're your own boss. But at the same time, you need some direction, you need some structure. So I always say you need a flexible routine. But when you show up as if it's your job, you're not giving just part of your effort, you're giving your full effort. No, we don't get paid as in a paycheck. But if you are not doing the role of homemaking as if your family depends on it and your life depends on it, then you are slacking. And so I think it's really important that we get this mindset that this is my job. This is what I am called to do in my home. My job is to make sure that my family has clean dishes to eat off of for every meal. My job is to make sure that everyone has clean clothes to wear every morning. My job is to make sure that I have a meal prepared every evening when my husband comes home from work. And when I know that it's my job, I feel fulfilled in it. It gives me purpose, but it also is motivating to do it well. When you have a job to do, you don't want to just kind of give half your effort. You want to put in all your effort, and you get up knowing this is what I'm going to do today. So knowing that it's your job, going about it, thinking of it that way is really important. So when I started thinking of homemaking as this is my job right now, this is what I've been called to do in this time in my life, then I started doing so much better, and I wouldn't put things off into the last minute. I would take care of them early in the day. I also realized that I needed to take breaks. My husband works outside of the home 8 hours. Well, actually, he's gone for over 8 hours, like closer to 9.5 hours a day. And he gets breaks. He has a morning break, he has a lunch break, and he has an afternoon break. And so that just reminded me too that like, it's okay to take breaks. It doesn't mean I have to be working the entire day, but I do need to be working. I don't need to be just sitting on the couch, scrolling my phone or watching Netflix. The second is to get dressed every day. And so this kind of has to do with like a job. Like if you show up to your job in pajamas, you're probably going to get fired. And there's no dress code when it comes to homemaking, obviously. But I know that I am much more motivated to get things done and to stay off of the couch and stay out of bed if I get myself dressed for the day and have shoes on, or at least house shoes on, and do my hair, put on a little bit of makeup, put on a little bit of makeup so I feel good about myself. And that just makes a huge difference rather than staying in workout clothes or just, I know this shirt says leggings and oversized t-shirts, but honestly, I hardly ever wear that because it makes me feel frumpy, and then I don't feel good about myself, and then that translates into how I act and how I show up for homemaking. So really, I often will wear something that is comfortable and practical to homemaking, but also makes me feel good. And I think that's really important. Number 3 is to have a daily plan. I know this phrase gets used over and over and over again, but it says if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. So we all have to have a plan for how we're going to spend our time. Going back to number 1 about it being a job, at your job, you know what you're supposed to do. And so as homemaking, I think it's really important that if you're just kind of lost and thinking, well, I don't even know what needs to be done, to get out a piece of paper and write all those things down that need to be accomplished every day and every week at your home. If you're kind of wanting someone else to do it for you, I do actually have a homemaking checklist that you can get when you sign up for my email. So I'll leave that below. And you can use that as your little cheat sheet. But otherwise, if you just want to come up with your own, think about what needs to be done every single day and then figure out a plan to get it done. So for me, I have a pretty basic morning routine, which includes cleaning up the kitchen after breakfast, and also starting a load of laundry, making my bed, just those daily things that have to get done. And then in the evening, I always clean up the kitchen after dinner so that I have a clean slate the next day. But that is just something that I do every single day. It's just a part of my daily rhythm, my daily routine. And then I also have a weekly routine for cleaning tasks, which is super important. And I'm probably going to do another chit chat on a Friday about cleaning routines and how you can implement that. But just having a plan, knowing what needs to be done, and then doing it will help you so much when it comes to being motivated, because sometimes I think we don't know what to do. And so then we feel overwhelmed, and then we don't know where to start. So we don't do anything. But the key is knowing what to do, and then where to start, and then just doing it. Number 4, and this is just like if you're really slacking when it comes to homemaking and you just have a really hard time getting going, one thing that I have found really works well for me is to think about my future self. So it may be my future self as in 20 minutes from now or 24 hours from now. So for example, let's say it's the end of the day, I'm really tired and we've just finished dinner and the kitchen is a mess and I don't want to do the dishes. So what I do is I think about 20 minutes from now, what is my kitchen going to look like? Because really, it probably only takes me about 20 minutes to clean up after dinner. It's really not that long when you think about the whole scheme of things. But when I think about, okay, in 20 minutes, am I going to be more grateful that I just went down and sat on the couch, or that I cleaned up the kitchen and have a clean kitchen for the rest of the evening into the next day? And the truth is, in 20 minutes, I will be so thankful that I actually took the time to go clean up the kitchen, which, by the way, I do have help. My kids help me most nights. So it's not just me doing it, but I'm the one who gets it going. I'm the one who starts it. So thinking about myself in 20 minutes makes a big difference. Also, 24 hours in advance helps out too. So for example, when I think about dinner, usually I think about dinner the night before. I have a weekly plan of what I want to do, and then I will kind of look through and I will the night before and I'll think, okay, what is it that I need to have ready for the next night? Because maybe I need a pound of ground beef to make tacos. Well, that means that I'm going to get a pound of ground beef out and I'm going to put it in the refrigerator so that it thaws and I don't have frozen ground beef the next night when I'm trying to cook dinner. So thinking about 24 hours from now, what am I going to be grateful that I did in this moment? What's going to help me out tomorrow by doing today? And that really makes a big difference in your motivation and just getting things done. Okay, number 5 may be the most important one, and that is remembering why you're doing what you're doing. When I was so unmotivated to do different tasks, I really had to think about the reason behind cleaning and cooking and organizing and just all those things. And it's so much more than just a clean home or a plate full of food. One of my favorite quotes is from Mother Teresa, and it says that you wash the plate not because it's dirty, but because you love the person who will use it next. And that is so true. When we remember that the whole reason for homemaking is far beyond our homes. It's the people that are inside our homes. And we're making a safe, stable, consistent home, comfortable places for our children to learn and to grow, for our husbands to come home to at the end of a long work day, for ourselves to enjoy, for guests who come and stay with us or visit. Those are all important reasons for homemaking. And I go kind of on that kind of a level, just like a heartfelt level, but then I also get really practical. So for me, one of the chores that I hate doing, I know that's a strong word, I very much dislike doing, there's 2 of them. That is dusting the house and scrubbing the tub and shower. Those are my 2 least favorite chores. I don't know, maybe you love it. For me, I don't like them. So I really had to get very specific and think, well, why is it even important to dust my house? And so I had to really think, well, it's more than just having dust-free furniture. It's also for the health of my family. And I thought about like the health benefits of having a dust-free home. So there are many reasons why we do what we do. And when we remember that, that is so much more motivating to get things done, to get ourselves moving, to get up and just go do the things that we need to do as homemakers. So I hope that you have enjoyed today's chat. Of course, I would love to hear any feedback that you have or any more tips that you want to share in the comments. And I just want to remind you to keep doing the most important thing.